Yeah, I had a look at the wicket today, and it's still a little bit damp underneath. We're hoping that it'll be a really good cricket wicket. A lot in it for the batsmen, lots of runs, but also some good carry. Certainly if I can compare it to the nets are playing nicely. There's some, it's good to bat on. So hopefully that's the same in the middle, and we can have a game full of runs and plenty of boundaries. Obviously a lot different in the conditions we practice at Delhi. This is probably the quickest wicket, I suppose, in India. So I think it's possibly a nice way to start our campaign. Hopefully with a wicket that will suit us both, us and India. It's not coming to practice to see that the dew was there at 6:30. So pretty much I reckon it will be the same for both teams. Dew is never a nice thing for a bowling team or a fielding team because the ball gets slippery. So I suppose hopefully the wet ball takes a little bit, I suppose, the challenge away from their spinners because the ball doesn't spin as much, which will hopefully play into our hands a little bit. Yeah, I suppose it's just for guys, to get used to bowling with a wet ball. It's something you always want to make sure you do tick that box in training, because you don't want to get the situation where your spinners get the ball in the middle of the game and they can't control it and they're bowling full tosses. And also from a seamers point of view at the end where they're bowling beamers. So it's just like I said, it's just for making sure that we do tick that box, the preparation. If the ball gets wet, we've done some work with the wet ball. Any place that's not home, that you're touring for a long time, can be quite tough mentally. So once again, me personally can fall back on my time in the IPL. It's a long tournament, it's 7 weeks. We've been right to the end of the tournament almost every year. And it does get long, but it's important then how do you motivate your team and how do you enjoy yourself away from the game. And our management does have a few plans on trying mentally to make the tour a bit shorter, because it can get quite long, especially with the test matches right at the end. I think that's going to be a real challenge for all of us, for the guys that's been here the whole time. But when you get to the test matches, we really take a real pride in our test cricket. Obviously our #1 in the world status. So our performances will always demand high standards. And it's tough, like especially you're saying, like a tour like India, because it can be quite tough if you lose form or whatever. It is probably one of the toughest places to be at, because the conditions doesn't make it easier. You go to nets sometimes and the nets are possibly a little bit slow and you're not hitting the ball in the middle of the bat. But I think most of the guys have worked through that in their time. I've certainly remember my first year playing for Chennai, I didn't play any cricket, and I find it really a challenge mentally, because you're not playing cricket and you're going to the nets and you're getting opportunity when the nets are possibly a little bit slower, but you work through that. And now we've got a lot of experience guys that's worked through those instances, so we can help the younger guys out when the tour gets a bit long for them.